Bing! That was the bell. Okay, we're gonna start our meeting here right away. Sorry, I don't have the bell here today because it is in for repair if they can repair it. I'm sorry?
I said it needs it.
Well, it needs it, except there's nobody that knows how to braze bronze anymore, so, well, there you go, Mike Ryan with a big blowtorch. Okay, we'll start. This, welcome to the January 19th meeting of the Rotary Club of Edmonton West, and we'll start with O Canada. O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. And we'll do the land acknowledgement. We're on Treaty 6 land, and John?
So we acknowledge the land because we acknowledge our connection with it. We are all connected to the earth, to this place, and to the people we share this land with. And we particularly acknowledge the First Nations and Métis and Inuit, the original peoples here. We are here on Treaty 6 land. We share the land by treaty, and we work for reconciliation, which really fits with our values as Rotarians.
Thank you, John. And we'd like to welcome our guests here today, Myrna Finn, Bob Kwapaki, Ryan Nicholson, and our speaker is Charlene Hargreaves. Did I forget anybody? No. Okay, good. Okay, this is January, oddly enough. Hope everybody's gotten over their turkey fix since Christmas. It's Vocational Services Month. And we'll go on to the next one. Oops, no, we won't go on to the next one. Okay, we want to do that before lunch? Yeah. This is the Hope Mission dinner. Bunch of volunteers there. I can see John and his wife there, and is that Al in the background? No? Anyway, there's a bunch of there that helped out at the Hope Mission. Oh, wait. I need to see another optometrist. Yeah, there's playing with knives, cutting onions. And now for the luncheon service. Before we do lunch, I just want to mention that we do have our 70th anniversary coming up, and I'm looking for some silent auction prizes. So if somebody could get back to me on what they would like to donate, and I'm sure Ingrid will have something to say a little later in the meeting here about 70th anniversary. Okay, and we'll go from there. Time for lunch. So the head table or the feature table first, and everybody else can follow in. Thank you.
I don't
Introduce our guest.
Our speaker today is Charlene Hargreaves. Charlene's a community development manager with Canadian Blood Services. I'm reasonably familiar with the Canadian Blood Services as I've been a donor for most of my life. It's an agency that I really admire because their raison d'etre is to save the lives of Canadians that need either a blood transfusion or other blood products. As such, Charlene works closely with community and corporate partners to inspire blood and stem cell donation. She supports community-led initiatives and service organizations, helping translate civic leadership into life-saving action. As you know, Charlene, Rotary is a service organization, so there's a good fit there. So we're most eager to hear from you. Perhaps there's opportunities for partnership where we can support your mandate. We look forward to that. As a matter of interest, and before we give Charlene a warm welcome, let's have a show of hands to see who either has been or is a blood donor. Whoa, well done, everybody. Wow, excellent.
Well, that's how long it's been.
So with that, let's welcome Charlene Hargreaves.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, does anybody want to step up and give the presentation? Because I think I have a room full of experts. Hopefully today I can bestow some wisdom that maybe you didn't know already. Some of you may or may not know that Canadian Blood Services is a multi-product organization. And so that's really what I'm going to touch on today. A lot of people go to that initial thought of whole blood donations, but we really are so much more than that. As Fred knows, he comes and donates plasma, so that's another one of our product lines. And we have a few others that I will go over with you today. Here we go. Okay, so this is really about what Canadian Blood Services is and why we exist. So we are here to help every patient, to match every need, and to serve every Canadian. I think that's one of the most important pieces about Canadian Blood Services, and you see it sometimes being questioned in the media. All of your donations stay in Canada for Canadians, period. There is no, it's not sold on the world market. It's right here. So we really are helping Canadians no matter what product it is. The only caveat to that, which I will talk about, is stem cells. So those are a little bit different. But when it comes to your whole blood donations and your plasma donations, they stay here in Canada. Okay, so I just talked about us being a multi-product organization. So we'll just go through, this is kind of how the presentation is going to flow. I'm going to talk a little bit about whole blood, then we'll go into plasma and those donations. We'll talk about stem cells, which is a registry-based donation. And then we'll briefly touch on organs and tissues. I just want to say through the presentation, not everybody is going to be eligible to be able to donate everything, and that's okay. I still hope you listen because you can take that back to your friends, your family, a coworker, somebody you might know who might be eligible. So if you are like, oh, no, not for me, please still, you can help us out a lot. Okay, so we're going to jump right into whole blood. So does anybody know, I feel like you're all going to just shake your head because you're all blood donors. We're all going to know what the universal blood type is, I hope. Yeah, you want to say it? O neg?
Oh.
Yeah, O neg. Yeah, so if you're in a car crash or, you're in an accident and we need to get you blood products right away and we don't have time to identify your blood type, we're going to go straight to O negative. So O negative red blood cells are compatible with all the blood types. So that's really important for us. However, it doesn't mean we don't want other blood types. So we never book a blood appointment based off of your blood type. If you're willing to give blood, we will take your blood. I say I'm like Dracula. You got it, we want it. So please don't think, oh, I don't have O neg, so I'm not coming. Really fun fact, I like looking at it on blood.ca. You can actually see how many days on hand we have of each blood type. So if you like to know that kind of stuff, I do, you can follow along on there and it will tell you when we're in a not good zone and when we're doing okay. You can follow along there. So these are all the different blood types that we have. I'm sure since a lot of you are blood donors, a lot of you are going to know your blood types. I won't go through every single one of them, but I'll just point out a few. So A positive, this is the second most common blood type in Canada with 36% of Canadians sharing that type. And then O positive is the most common with 39%. And then way down over here, we have AB negative, only 0.5% of Canadians with that blood type. So very rare. So that's why I say we think of O neg. A lot of people actually think O neg is the most common, but it's not, only 7%. But AB negative, you can see how important that still is. So we don't want to just focus on our O neg donors. We really do need all blood types. Okay, so what's in your blood? Well, our whole blood is made up of 4 separate components, and they can be transfused separately or together to treat various conditions. So you can see in the chart over here, about 55% of it is plasma, and then 40 to 45 is your red blood cells, and then your platelets and white cells are about 1%. So I do get asked quite often because we do plasma donations and whole blood, and they're like, well, can't you just take the plasma from whole blood? Yes, we can, and we will if we have to, but we need so much plasma that when you come in and do a plasma donation, you're giving more than what we would get out of your whole blood donation if we separate all the parts. So there is, plasma does make up your whole blood donation. So every component has a job to do. So this is just going to break it down. So your red blood cells are really there to carry the oxygen to your organs and tissues, and they remove that carbon dioxide through the lungs. It's used during emergencies, surgeries, cancer treatments, things like that. Then we have our white blood cells, and they're there to protect the body from infection. So they also carry viruses and bacteria, and so for this reason, they're actually removed from any donated blood. Fun fact, all of your blood that you donate here in Edmonton gets transported to Calgary, and that's where we do our processing. So we have one plant here on the west side, which is Calgary, and then there's one on the east where they process back there. But any blood that you're donating in BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba will all come to Calgary before it gets distributed. And then plasma. So this is that liquid component, carries nutrients to all parts of the body, and it carries waste products out of the body. It's very rich in proteins, and that's what we use to treat patients who are undergoing extensive surgery or trauma or bleeding disorders. We're going to see a large uptick in the need for plasma over the next few years, and this is really due to science and research. So as that's evolved, we've learned new ways where we can use plasma instead of using whole blood. So we will need more and more plasma donors as we move on here. And then platelets. So this is used, provides the basis for clotting, which can control bleeding. We do platelet donations at our fixed site center here in Edmonton. However, it's not something you can book on your own. So if it is something that you are interested in doing, when you go in for your next whole blood donation, you can let the staff know. And what happens is they'll actually take an extra vial from you that day for testing, and they'll check to see if you're going to be a good fit for our platelet donation program. And if you are, you have a dedicated staff member, if you will, who will call upon you when needed. So it's not something you can just book on your own. It's a program that you have to enter kind of through the whole bloodstream or through plasma, and then you're called upon. Okay, this is just a fun slide. I'm going to put a few up here and then I'm going to stop. Okay, so this is just showing how many donors it takes to help each of these situations. So someone who has internal bleeding might be 2 to 8 donors per week for one person, which is quite a big number. And then we look at heart surgery where you might need up to 5 donors. And we know 1 donor equals 1 blood bag. So that's a lot of bags of blood. Now I stop here because accident victim, I don't like the terminology really, because an accident could be a fender bender or it could be jaws of life. So in this situation, what you're going to see up here is jaws of life, huge accident, somebody is in critical, dire need. So it's up to 50 donors, right? If we think about those really big, serious accidents, that's a lot of blood. I need 50 people to walk through the door of a donation center to help one person. That's huge, huge. Same with leukemia. A leukemia patient, up to 8 donors per week. Per week. So many. And then cancer treatment, up to 5 donors. So we really do need a lot of donors coming through our doors to make sure that we're helping all of our Canadians. So who can donate? A lot of you know, it seems like a lot of you are already eligible. You're out there donating, which is amazing, but I'll just run through a few of the most common ones. If you are out in the community talking to others about blood donation. So you must be 17 years of age or older. If you have grandchildren, things like that, they have to be 110 pounds. I love going to the universities and they're like, I'm not 110 pounds. I'm like, we were all there once. Don't worry, you'll get this. As you may know, we have a lot of travel. So depending on what countries you visit, We don't give out information about the travel restrictions because it is always changing. So we just ask that you visit blood.ca. There's an eligibility tab, and that will give you the most up-to-date information. Misconception when it comes to travel is that there might be a limitation due to the entire country you travel to. So let's say you went to Mexico and you're like, oh, I'm not eligible, I traveled to Mexico. Sometimes it's actually only regions within the country. So check blood.ca. Most of you'll know this is based off of malaria risk, Zika virus, things like that as to why we have these requirements. You must be in good health. Yeah, you can go to, like I said, blood.ca. There's an eligibility tab. We used to have a little test you could do on there as well, the eligibility quiz and see, but you're all donors, so you already know you're eligible, which is amazing. Okay, is there any questions about blood? I'm gonna go into plasma next. They're very similar, but just no, okay. I can take questions at the end as well.
Question.
Yeah.
Is there any upper limit to age?
There isn't. Great question. No, there is not an upper limit to age at all, which is great. So please keep on donating and
So
tell
I still
everybody.
qualify.
You're still qualified. You're still good to go. Yeah, no, there is no upper age. Trying to think of some other common questions I get asked, but that's the majority. Oh, tattoos and piercings, as long as they're 3 months old, you can come and donate with those. Those are questions you might get asked. But yeah, other than that, the most common ones are on our website. If somebody ever in the community, if you're talking to them about it and they bring up a medication, that's a really common one I get when I'm at events and stuff, is, oh, I'm on this medication, I'm not sure. They can always call 1-888-2-DONATE and they get to talk directly to a healthcare professional. And that's where they can ask those specific questions because I don't even know all of the answers. Like I get asked all kinds of things about medication, travel. I just tell them 1-888-2-DONATE. You can talk directly to someone who can give you the most up-to-date and accurate information. Okay, so what is plasma? So we touched on it a little bit already, but it is that pale yellow liquid component. We call it liquid gold in our line of work. And it suspends the blood cells in the whole blood and it really supports your immune system. So it's about 55% of the body's total volume and it's mostly water. And it contains some dissolved proteins, about 4 to 5%. And so why is this of interest to us at Canadian Blood Services? Well, it can be used to protect from infection. It can repair and heal tissues, and it can help control bleeding and form clots. There's a little chart there that shows the breakdown for you. But we're really using it to make medications and things like that. It's used in surgeries. So there is 2 different ways that we can take plasma. So I kind of touched on one of them already. So that's through a whole blood donation. So you're going to come in, you're going to donate your blood, and then we send it to Calgary where it gets processed, and then we can pull out the plasma and the different parts. The red cells, plasma, and the platelets can be pulled out. The way that Fred comes and donates blood is through our program called apheresis. So this is where you're going to come in, you get connected to, they kind of have a little description here, it's not the greatest picture, you get connected to a machine and it separates the plasma. So it basically goes into a centrifuge, it spins really, really fast, it pulls out what we want, which is that liquid gold, and then it's going to give you back everything else, which is also why you can donate plasma more often. So you can come in and donate plasma every week, whereas with whole blood, it's 56 days for a man and 84 for a woman. So here, just a little depiction of what we use the plasma proteins for. So cancer, bleeding, burns, it really has so many different uses, which is why it is growing in popularity as well, because it can be used variously. So this is a similar chart to the one we saw with whole blood, just showing how many patients it takes. I just want to note though that this is for 1 year. So it seems like a really big number maybe compared to some of the whole blood ones, but we were looking at a week or just one patient. But this is one patient for an entire year. However, it is a lot more plasma, but also remember you can donate a lot more plasma as an individual, right? You can come in every single week and be donating that. But some of our common like immune deficiency, you might need 130 plasma donations to treat one of those patients, but just to put it a little bit into perspective there. Okay, so what is the process? feel like you guys could teach this part. So we went over who can donate. I just want to point out, so the eligibility for plasma and whole blood is the same. You have to be 17. One of the key differences is the malaria deferral. So if some of you are traveling to malaria countries where we know there's malaria, and you come back and you might be deferred for whole blood, you still may be eligible to donate plasma. So that's one of the biggest differences. And then of course the frequency, which I talked about, can be about every week for plasma, and then that 56 and 84 days, depending if you're a man or a woman, for whole blood. Other than that, everything else is pretty much the same. So this is the process. The day of your donation, we want you to show up hydrated and well fed. I know this group will know, but I have other groups, they'll come into the donor center and they'll be like, oh, I didn't have breakfast this morning. Give me that water bottle and I'll chug it right now. Coming and chugging a water bottle does not make your body hydrated. So you're just gonna go pee that out. So we generally suggest you start 1 or 2 days before sipping water. It's the best way that our body can store it. We have had some people who say, oh, like, I am prone to passing out. What can I do? One of our tips is to alternate water and like a Gatorade or something with an electrolyte 1 or 2 days prior to see if that helps. But really, hydrated and well fed are your 2 keys. And you guys all know we have the best snacks in town. All you can eat snack buffet when you come. Who loves the cookies by George? Yeah, right? Cookies by George, they're the best. So once you come, you're going to be greeted by our staff. You'll check in. You might go to the kiosk, depending if you're a new donor, if you have a donor card. You're going to complete the questionnaire. You'll go into the pre-screen booth. They're going to ask you all these questions, right? Where have you traveled? Do you have any new tattoos or piercings? What medication are you on? You're going to go through all of those steps with them. And then you'll go in and you'll do the donation. Now, I don't know, do most of you have the blood app, Give Blood app on your phone? Some do, some don't. So there is a Give Blood app if you're competitive. I have some groups that are. It's okay if you're not. But you can find out your bleed time. It's kind of fun. Even if you're not competitive and you're just curious, download the Give Blood app. If you're very fast, you're going to be around 5 minutes. I've even seen a 4-minute, which is just nuts. Very well hydrated individuals if you want to be that fast. And I've seen some high as 10 minutes. Anything over 10 is you're kind of slow. So if you want to know, download the Give Blood app and put in your donor information there. You can find out and you can race your friends if you like. Yeah, and then after the donation, the best part, I mean, the snacks are there at the beginning too, but you get to enjoy our snack buffet, which includes cookies by George. I love cookies by George. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about stem cells. So this is switching gears a little bit. This isn't something that you can come into our donor center and donate. There's also a lot more restrictions around joining the stem cell registry and being eligible to donate. So let's jump into it here. So what are blood stem cells? So blood stem cells are immature cells that can develop into the cells present in your bloodstream. So this includes red blood cells, white, and platelets. They're not embryonic stem cells, and so they come from bone marrow, your peripheral blood, or umbilical cord blood. So what I will say is this, stem cells are used for if you have a cancer patient and they're going through chemo and chemo hasn't worked. Stem cells is that last chance. This is basically going to reset their entire body system. So if you think about somebody who maybe has vaccines, maybe they got vaccinated to travel somewhere, this takes all that away. It resets you from zero and you start over again. So it really is that last chance. So there are 3 ways to donate stem cells. There's this understanding, I guess, that, ooh, stem cells, that sounds scary and I think it's going to hurt, and it doesn't. 90% of the time, it's just like a whole blood donation. It's done through peripheral stem cells, just like when you come in and donate blood, they're going to go in and draw them out. Bone marrow is when this is what people are thinking of when they think of stem cells. The only time this happens is if it's a child or a very small baby. That's when they have to go in and do bone marrow. And yes, it is a little more invasive. It is a procedure. You're going to have to go into the hospital and be under general anesthetic. That said, you will know in advance. You're not going to show up and it won't be a surprise, I promise. It's a process, for sure. And then umbilical cord blood collected after the safe delivery of a baby. So stem cells is based off of a registry. So it's not something you can say, okay, yeah, I'll come in and donate stem cells. What happens is you have to be between the ages of 17 and 35 to join the registry. And I know you're all looking at me right now like, why are you talking to me about this? Because you know people, I promise you. You know people who are between the ages of 17 and 35, and you're going to leave here and you're going to talk to them about STEM. It's so important. And you have to match with somebody. That's the key to stem cells, is you have to be that match. And so we need a large registry in order to help people find matches. And this isn't just a match in Canada. I'm going to touch on it. Okay, so the first thing people think of when they're like, oh, I need stem cells. No problem. I got a brother, I got a sister, I got a mom, I got a dad. One of them will help me out. No problem. Sadly, that's not the case. Only 25% of people will find a match within their family. So 75% of people who need stem cells have to go outside of their family and rely on who we know to help them out. So that's a pretty big number. So here's just some more really interesting numbers that I can put up for you. So 3.7% is the odds of someone from the Black community finding a match. 3.7. This is your life. Like, this is last resort. 18.5% Indigenous and 26.3% Asian. That's really unfortunate. That's very sad. We need to do better, and we need to reach those individuals and get them onto the registry. So like I said, even if you're not eligible here today, I hope you take this out wherever you are in the community and talk to people about the importance of it, because we really need to diversify our registry so we can help as many people as possible. Okay, so I did say you had to be between 17 and 35. You must be in good health. The beginning of my presentation, I said, everything we do is in Canada. And now I'm going to tell you the opposite. So with stem cells, you have to be willing to help anybody, anywhere in the world. That doesn't mean you get a free trip somewhere. Sorry. So what happens is if you match with somebody, you would do the donation. It's either going to be here in Edmonton or in Calgary. That's about as far as we're going to send you. And then they will send it to the person who needs it. So we have a volunteer currently at our donor center. You might have seen him before if you're coming in to donate. His name is Rod. He's amazing. He needed a stem cell transplant. So somebody saved his life. That person was in Germany. So pretty incredible. He's here today hanging out with his grandkids because somebody in Germany joined the registry and saved his life. And the even better part is after 1 year, we make sure it's successful. Rod's doing great. The donor's doing great. They get to decide to meet each other. So obviously they're very far apart. So they met online, but still, I love that story. It's incredible what a donation can do. So somebody joined the registry and literally saved our volunteer Rod's life. And now he's an amazing volunteer with us. To join the registry, you're like, well, you talk about this registry. How do I get on it? How do I tell people to get on it? It's like 4 giant Q-tips. That's what we're going to call them. And you put them in your mouth. That's it. You're going to take this Q-tip. You're going to rub it on your cheek 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to stick it in an envelope and you're going to send it to us. That's it. If you join the registry when you're between the ages of 17 and 35, you are on the registry for life. So if somebody in this room is like, oh yeah, I did that 10 years ago, you're still on it. You just haven't got a call. But you will be on it for life. Unfortunately, as we get older, the viability of our stem cells goes down. They want younger, which is why we do have that age limit of 17 to 35, because that is when you are the most viable to be able to have a donation. That said, with stem cells, you might not have a perfect match. So we have somebody in the community right now down in Calgary. We're trying to find a match for her and help her. She just a few days ago got word that she might have a potential match. However, it's not a perfect match. It's not a really great match, but it's all she has at this moment. So there are a couple different markers that they're trying to match. And let's say there's 10. If they can match 2 and that's all they have, they're going to run with that and give it a shot because that's all that's available to them. Okay, a little bit about organs and tissues. So there are 2 different types of organ donors. We have living organ donors. So this is when you're going to donate an organ or part of your organ for transplant to another person in need. Any adult who is in general good health, you can be assessed to become a living donor. You must participate in medical assessments to make sure that you are healthy enough, obviously, to be able to donate one of their kidneys or part of your liver or a very small portion of yours. And then the second one is our deceased organ donors. So only 1 to 2% of people who die can actually be considered for organ donation. So it's quite small. Obviously, there are many factors that go into deciding whether or not they can follow through with the donation. And they're considered only after all life-saving efforts have been tried. And age doesn't matter. This is really cool. The oldest organ donor in Canada was over 90 years old. That's pretty special and amazing. I like this graph because I think when we think of organ and tissue donation, we can think of those key ones, but there's actually quite a few different organs and tissues that can be eligible for donation. So one organ donor, you can change up to 8 lives, and here's the various ways you can: heart and valves, liver, bowels, pancreas, skin, bone, veins, tendons, kidneys, stomach, lungs, and corneas. So many different ways that you can help individuals. Okay, how many Canadians have registered to be an organ and donor, tissue donor? We have 15%, 32%, 87, and 42. 15, 32, yeah, we all hope it would be 87 though, right? Oh man, I do. Unfortunately, it's 32. Not many at all. However, there is some good news. 90% of Canadians say that they do approve. But it's a process. You have to go online and you have to register. And so we got to get to those people and kind of get it in front of them and say, hey, go to this website, register your organs and tissues, because they're willing to do it. So yeah, if you're out there talking, let people know. Yeah.
I had a Hep C at one point. It's still there, but it's gone.
Yep.
It disallows me from doing any of this.
Yep. That's fair. We get that a lot. And so my ask of you is to tell 5 friends and ask them to go tell 5 friends and get somebody maybe to do it on your behalf even. If you could let them know. Yeah.
At one time, they were talking about putting it on your driver's license.
Absolutely.
I asked at the,
Yeah.
be reviewed, and he said, oh, you just have to register a thing, they don't want to put it in the car.
Yeah, I get asked that a lot when we're out in the community. So my understanding is that organs and tissues are not done through Canadian Blood Services. We are a partner. So if you go to our website and you click and you want to register to become a donor, it's actually going to kick you over to another website. So it's done provincially. So every province is different, and it also differs from whether you have to opt into the program or opt out of the program. So in Alberta, we have to opt into the program. So you need to go and say that you want to be a donor, as opposed to everybody just already being donors and you telling us whether you don't want to be. So it's the same thing with the driver's licenses. I believe some provinces do and some provinces don't. It just depends on what their protocols are. But it does vary. So like I said, it's not a Canadian Blood Services owned registry, but we just help support it through our work.
Actually on the Alberta health card as well.
Is it on your healthcare card? Yeah.
Driver's license.
And your driver's license, yes. Okay. I've talked about all our products. How can you help? Seaboat's coming on. About 2 minutes. I'm going to talk really fast. Okay. We have a group. It's called Partners for Life. This is our program. This is what we do with our corporate partners, our service group partners. And so what can we do? We create a team for your group. I've already gone ahead and done that. So I called it the Rotary Edmonton West group, and you can join it. And what happens is we're going to set a pledge for your group. I have it at 10. I wasn't sure how big you guys were going to be, but with a plasma donor over here, you're going to blow that out of the water. So I'll probably go back and change that, by the way. Don't get excited. So you join the group and all your donations count towards them, and you work together to try to reach your pledge. It resets every year. So it starts January 1st to the end of December, and then it'll reset and you'll start over for your pledge. I think I have you set up as the champion, so you probably got an email from me. Might have blew up your inbox there.
You wrote that.
If you have a phone on you, I ask, you take it out right now and scan my beautiful QR code that will go directly to your group that I set up, and you can join it. And I know how many blood donors are in this room. You might ask me, well, I already donated, so it's not gonna count. It will. As soon as you join the group, all of your donations that you've done year to date automatically go into that group. So if you're a donor, please scan my QR code. If you don't want to scan my QR code, that's fine too. You won't have any feelings. Maybe a little. But if you go on to blood.ca, you can join it later. You just have to search. Just search Rotary Edmonton West. It'll pop up and you can join it at any time. I think I'm done. Did I make it?
Any questions?
Yeah.
Fred, on the stem cells, you mentioned for Black, Indigenous, and
Yeah.
what is it for Caucasians?
It's a great question. And I don't have that stat right now. But I can get it to you. But it's high,
Okay.
much higher.
Vic?
They've experimented with different animals given certain organs, and some of it has worked, some is not. Are they doing the same thing with blood?
They do, yeah. So there are labs, part of our move, many of you may know that we moved locations recently. Part of that move is our lab. So we had a lab in our existing sites that does a lot of testing and research. And so that lab is going to be moving on to the U of A campus where they do a lot of that work. Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. So yeah, most of you know we are now at White Mud and Calgary Trail. That's our new donor center. And then we do have mobile clinics around the city. So if you go to our website, put in your postal code, it will show you your nearest one, but we just pop up at those. We're not there consistently.
Yeah, I know plasma has got proteins and all kinds of
Yeah.
things in it. Is there any research going on creating an artificial plasma that you're aware of?
Oh, that's above my head. I'm sure.
It would
AI
seem like
is-
a reasonable.
Yeah. I feel like somebody somewhere, maybe not in Canada, we're not at that research yet. I think sometimes Canada, we are a bit slower. I can say that. But I'm sure somebody somewhere is trying to replicate or figure out how to replicate that. But I don't know that that will be here anytime soon. It's not really on our horizon. But I would have to think, yeah, really interesting question and field, yeah. Any other questions?
Anybody else?
I made it, no minutes to spare.
Here you go. Thank you very much. I remember years ago, receiving a coffee cup from, the blood services thing. So here's a coffee cup with, Rotary Club Edmonton West on it.
Thank you, everybody, for having.
Well done.
Yes, we were.
Yeah, that was excellent. Very vibrant speech and, I recall the first time I donated was in high school, JP High, and there was about 75 of us in the line, and we're talking about what to expect when we get up to the nurses, and you know there was rumors of this giant #1 knitting needle. And meanwhile, people are passing out in the line as I'm getting closer and closer to the front. But that was my first experience with blood donor stuff, and
Thank
it was great. They probably got 100 donors out of that one day drive, and yeah. And Fred, do you want to say anything?
Not about that. But that was excellent. Thank you very much. Anybody recognize this?
Yeah.
I have about 6 of these. Okay? And I'm sure most of you in the audience have more than one.
Yeah.
And you don't need more than one. I don't even know if you need any because each year at the golf tournament, we get another one. My point is, we're going to Guatemala in March. And if you bring these to me or here,
Yeah.
we will take them down and donate them to Guatemalans.
Sounds great.
So go through your closets and give them all or all but one and bring them here and we'll give them another life. Yes, yes, Vic.
Does it have to be with volunteers in the back?
No.
General, because I've got quite a few, #3 and there's a.
Yeah, all good.
Al Hamilton.
All,
yeah.
all good.
Yeah.
Great idea, Fred. So you might as well stand up here
Yeah.
as well, and
Sure.
if you're on your acronym already.
Okay. This is what we're gonna do today, folks. Acronyms are all around us. And so I'm gonna put up an acronym and go around the room, each one, and if you can get the acronym, that's good. If you get it, that should make you happy, so that should be $1, right? If you don't, well, that's a toonie of the fine. The rules are, the Rotarians pay, the guests just play but don't pay.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so we'll start with Rob, our treasurer. Kuzma,
Canada, United States,
Mexico agreement.
Perfect. That
Wow.
will leave you off.
Nice done.
Lauren.
Here's my $2.
Okay, anybody got NICU?
Yeah.
Karen, what is it?
Neonatal intensive care unit.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, I would know about that one, yeah.
Ingrid.
Well, Trisha Pat, Canadian
Hey,
Light
hey,
Infantry.
Yeah.
close enough. Yeah. Princess Patricia, Canadian Light.
I got $5 given anyway.
Okay, Charlene.
Oh, gosh. Or the police officers, they show up in black. I don't know.
They have guns.
Special weapons and tactics. Okay. Okay, Bruce, over to you.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Wrong.
oh.
Parcel service.
All right.
I put $5 in anyway.
Okay. Karen, sorry.
United Nations. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I-
But it's UNESCO sites,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like that. John,
Oh, Bavarian Motor Works.
correct.
Oh.
Gary,
Well, this is the Acadian Spy.
Yeah.
yeah, that's it, but what is it?
Acadian Spy.
You Myrna, you're a guest, here you go.
That's the medical thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, Annie,
I'll register a time that's not savings.
yeah, good. Stuart,
Oh. I say it's refund.
Oh.
Daryl,
Oh, no. Historic relic.
Not too good.
North American Treaty Organization.
$2.
Yeah. North Atlantic.
Oh, Atlantic.
That's money there.
Mike.
Brother of Scooby Doo, like that.
Underwater breathing apparatus.
close.
Hey.
I should know, I'm assuming it's.
Yeah, I know.
North American Sports Car Association. And, oh, so. I'm
That'll
not
be $2.
crazy.
I was.
I've been to those.
All right,
Oh. Sure, take off and landing.
very good.
All right.
And you, Bob, here's one for you. You don't have to pay.
As he likes to pay.
Okay.
How about the famous idea?
Maybe with those beats.
Al,
I got this one from the season. We should know this.
yes.
Something organization, but I don't know what it is.
Really?
Food and agriculture.
Brian,
So.
yeah. That's kind of a tough one. When the cops do allegedly do something wrong, these guys
Yeah.
come up. I have some more, and I've actually got some more for weeks to come, but I have a few left on this one, so let's just go around the room and shout out.
Yeah,
Very good.
Come on.
Museum of Modern Art.
Correct,
Museum of Modern.
correct. That's it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fred. That was great.
I'll just put this down.
So did I. Okay, for upcoming events, Tuesday, January 20th, which is tomorrow, volunteering at the food bank, and see Annie about that. Wednesdays, our club board meeting at Boston Pizza, 170th Street. Monday, February 2nd is our next meeting and luncheon. And that'll be with the Zoom meeting with our district governor, Ramesh.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to come down from Whitehorse all the time, isn't it?
Short,
We'll be in person here.
short flight, 2 days driving. Oops, oh, one too far.
Oh, yeah, that's far.
Oh, here we are. The food bank, we got the Boston Pizza, we got. Anything, oh, the gala. Ingrid,
Yes. Update. First of all, thank you to all of you who have registered. And we are at about, what, 50? I think we're about somewhere.
Thank you very much for all who have registered. So as I said, we have 50, we need only 100 more. So speak to your friends and please, I know some of you have lists that you're gathering. I myself have a number of people that I'm just waiting to hear back from as well. So please do that as soon as you can. Our planning is really great right now. We've got lots of things happening. Some of you may know that I had a meeting at City Hall just before Christmas with the supervisor of civic events. And Spencer was there as well as our DGE, Jeanette. And we talked about the possibility of having a peace installation at City Hall on February 25th. And also have the peace ceremony at City Hall July 1st, when our new director of Zone 2032 will be in the city. She's going to start her tour in Edmonton on Canada Day. So we want to be a part of that as well. Tomorrow I have another meeting with the supervisor online. And as a result of that original meeting, I had to fill out a whole bunch of forms. Who has sent a form into City Hall recently? Oh my God, I'm sorry to say. It took forever. To invite the mayor, I had 7 pages. Twice I had to do that. And then for the other events, once that we had talked about it, I think it was like 10 pages each. It just is quite a process. So I'm hoping that that's all going to be okayed. And basically, the peace poll has been ordered. So what do we need from you? Please just talk with your friends, the rest of our committee here, as well as our members, to get those tickets up. Smile, Warren, smile, smile, good. And then we're also going to be talking about the program. And the other thing is, we are going to have a huge display, thanks to Sherry and some other people who are on that display committee. And we're going to be talking about the program this coming Thursday. We have a meeting. So that's the update. Any questions? It's going to be fabulous.
Yes.
And guess what? Northeast is celebrating their anniversary the very next day. So we are 1 day ahead of them. It's all good.
Yeah, not competition.
as Fred said, it's not a competition. Looking ahead, February 21st, Cold Hands, Warm Heart Community Walk for Hope mission. And that's Andy's. Door. I make a good door. Okay, I'll have to go here and turn around then. Also, February 25th is again, Ingrid just mentioned, it's our 70th anniversary gala in the big room downstairs. And we'd like to get everybody registered as soon as possible. So we have a firm commitment on numbers. And if you also know of former members or people that have been involved with our programs, I'm trying to get a hold of John Blimke, but I can't seem to find a current phone number. So if somebody has something current, if they could get that back to me. I've got a hold of a few exchange students. We have at least one coming, some Interact students, some Air Cadets, people with 395 Squadron, et cetera, et cetera. So we're trying to get as many people out possible. 70 years, and there's a few people in this room that can remember back 70 years ago. Hands in the air. Okay. That's it. Anything else for Rotary business? Mr. Spaulding.
2 quickies. I kind of missed an opportunity last meeting when I had $5 extra left over from the receipts. I should have told a little story about the guy on the bus that says hey, anybody lose a wad of $100 bills with elastic band around, a bunch of hands go up. The guy says, well, I got the elastic band. Anyway, we could have had, one more person at our meeting today. While I was on the desk, a guy came up and looked kind of lost and, asked him if I could help him, and, he said, I'm a guest of Neil Lang. Well, Neil Lang happens to be a friend of mine. And I know he's a past president of the downtown club. And so I told the guy this, and he whipped out his phone. Oh, Chateau Lacombe.
But we're close. Hallelujah. Anything else?
Gas.
Okay, and we'll finish off the meeting. Again, I don't have a bell to gong the meeting, but we'll finish off with a four-way test of the things we think, say, or do.
Is it the truth? They're all concerned.
Thank you for coming out.
Ding.
Bing.
Yeah.